Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be getting any better for Wltoys. A couple of weeks ago, we had a look at their new 1/14 scale monster truck, which actually turned out to be really bad. And this is because Wltoys are now starting to cut corners. Instead of giving us oil-filled shocks, they're now including friction shocks with a lot of their new models. And unfortunately, as we all know, friction shocks are absolutely terrible and they take away so much from an RC car. Now, Wltoys are one of those brands that never seems to listen to what the customers want, which is kind of why they're on their way out. And I'm almost certain they're going to be gone very soon. Now, this is a real shame considering Wltoys was one of the best cheap RC car brands out there, but over the last few years, things have been rapidly going downhill. In front of me here, I have their new 1/14 scale buggy, and I really wish I could say this is going to be good, but I have to say now, if it's anything like the new monster truck, I don't think it's going to be, because I'm pretty sure this is going to have friction shocks and it's going to handle as bad as the monster truck. So let's get this open and let's take a closer look. All right, let's see what we've got in here. So here we have our black and white manual. This time it's an electric 4-wheel drive racing car. Last time it was a large-legged off-road vehicle. So in here we have a charger, some shock preload spacers and a screwdriver. Battery-wise, here we have a 1500 milliamp hour 2S lithium ion. Let's take a look at the buggy. Yeah, you may have noticed it there when I dropped it on the ground. Friction shocks once again. This thing is a bouncy mess before we've even given it a drive. Now, as always, I like to give everything a fair chance here on my channel. Even though it has friction shocks, it could still be really good. Nope, it won't be. So colour scheme on the body doesn't actually look too bad. I've definitely seen worse from them. Let's take a closer look under the body. So under the body, everything is plastic. There's no adjustable turnbuckles. We've got plastic shock towers, plastic drive shafts, although we do get a carbon chassis. And yes, I know it's not real carbon fibre. Now, this chassis is actually plastic. I think this is just a carbon fibre look. Now, this thing has a tiny little battery tray. I actually remember on some of the old ones you could make this bigger, but it doesn't appear that there's any holes underneath. No, you're very limited to what you can do on this. Electronics wise, this thing has a 390 brushed motor with a heatsink, a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver, and of course, because they've cheaped out so much, they have gone back to the 5-wire servo. Now, for the current price of £58, I don't think it's too bad. If it had oil-filled shocks at the current price, I think it would be a bit of a steal. Now, this buggy actually comes with the old transmitter as well, just like the monster truck, and I prefer the version 1 transmitters compared to the new version that they come out with. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of those. Right, so let's see how fast it goes on the included battery. Let's start the GPS. I'm trying to remember what the monster truck did. I'll stick that result on the screen now. Let's see if this thing is any quicker or slower than that. That is full throttle. Yeah, it's pretty slow. Now this thing feels really slow. That's full throttle. Good enough for a beginner. Like I said earlier, this thing is ruined by those friction shocks. If it had oil-filled shocks, not too bad for someone just starting out in the hobby, but sadly it doesn't. Right, let's bring it back. Let's see what we got. I'm going to guess 18, 19 miles per hour. I don't think we're going to hit 20. So let's hit stop and read. 17 miles per hour. That is actually really slow. Now, in my opinion, I think they should have included the old power system that they included on the 144001 with that bigger brushed motor. It was actually a lot of fun in its stock form. So I've got this thing out over here on the dirt, and already it's a bouncy mess, which I knew it was going to be. I just wish Wltoys included a set of oil-filled shocks for this. And the thing is, oil-filled shocks really aren't that expensive. And I'm pretty sure 99.9% of people would actually spend that little bit more money to get a better product. Yeah, Wltoys missed an opportunity with this. Now, a simple solution would be just to buy a set of oil-filled shocks and fit those yourself. But of course, you know, if you're buying a ready to run, I don't know about you, but I expect it to be ready to run right out the box to a fairly decent standard as well. You shouldn't have to upgrade bits straight away. You should be able to get a ready to run RC car out the box and just enjoy it, and then make upgrades later if you need to. And I do feel sorry for Wltoys because obviously they're trying, but they're just not trying hard enough, because if they were to listen a little bit more, I think they would be able to become successful again, but I don't think they actually care that much. So I don't think it'll be long before we see the end of Wltoys. This thing is bouncing all over the place. It's almost undrivable. I think that is it for today. So there we go then, that was the new Wltoys 144016. Just like the monster truck version, this one was also let down by those friction shocks. I just think in 2024, we shouldn't be seeing friction shocks anymore. And I think most people would agree that if they did include a set of oil-filled shocks, this would be a much better buggy. I think it's just a bit too late for Wltoys. HBX, HBX and Rlaarlo, they're all ahead of you now, and I think that's pretty much it. A real shame, but this is what happens when you don't listen to what people want. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of this Wltoys. Would you buy one? Would you recommend one to a beginner? Or would you go for something else? Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care. Now if you're a beginner starting out in the hobby, click the top video now to check out my top 10 cheap RC cars for 2024, or click the bottom video to check out more from Wltoys on my channel.